So, Game Freak. Whoa, what's going on with Game Freak? Well, I think Game Freak at the moment is currently hanging from the edge of a cliff over shark-infested waters, and the only thing that can save them from being eaten alive by a shiver of man-eating sharks. That's what you call a group of sharks, by the way. I looked it up. It's a shiver. The only thing that can save them now is probably Generation 10. We're getting to the point now where those same old excuses that people keep using, like, the hardware's not strong enough. We've got the Switch 2 now. Game Freak isn't used to making 3D games. It's been over a decade since X and Y. The learning curve can't be that steep. They don't need to try because people will still buy the shitty games regardless of how shitty they are. Yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah. But anyway, Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise in the world. Why can't they just release a game that doesn't feel like a barren, buggy, half-baked mess? I mean, they have this brilliant concept. It's inspired loads of other games, some of which are developed by really small indie teams, and they actually managed to outdo Game Freak in lots of areas. I mean, there's a reason Power World blew up when it launched. It's because it gave people something that they wanted. And maybe instead of trying to sue every Pokemon-like game into oblivion, like Game Freak love to do, they love to just, they'll see something that's like Pokemon, they're like, sue them now! Instead of doing that, they could just, I don't know, learn from them and do better. Because if they made something truly amazing, then no one would want to play anything else. So Game Freak have been making Pokemon games for a while now. It's been almost 30 years since Pokemon Red and Green released in Japan. 30 years. And even though Pokemon has been around for a really long time, the games haven't really evolved that much. They just follow the same basic format that they always follow. You are a kid who wants to catch Pokemon, so you decide to leave home. And your mother doesn't care that you want to leave home at such a young age and just wander around the world like an idiot. And then you'll meet a professor who's always named after a tree, because trees equal knowledge, obviously. And after you meet the professor, they'll let you choose either a water, fire, or grass type Pokemon. It's always the same. And then you go off on your merry way, collect your 8 badges, defeat the evil team. There's always an evil team. And after you've done all that, you challenge the Pokemon League, and then you become the Pokemon champion. 30 years they've been doing that. And I think it's because Game Freak are afraid to do anything else. Well, no, actually, I know with Scarlet and Violet, they did try to make it open world. And even if it was boring and buggy and boring, you know, at least they tried. Right? Did they try? When Scarlet and Violet was announced, I was like, this is it. They've gone back to their roots. They've gone back to colors. It's the great reset we've all been waiting for. Pokemon is gonna be great again. And then I played the game and I was like, well, no, none of that's true. I feel like a lot of people must have felt like it was gonna be great because as of June 2025, Scarlet and Violet, they've sold 27.15 million copies worldwide, which makes it the second most sold Pokemon game after the original Red and Blue, which is insane. It's clear that the game's sales do not reflect the game's quality in this case, because its quality was awful. I still played it though. Like many Pokemon fans, I looked past the glaring issues and I actually did enjoy my time with it. I had to enjoy my time. It's Pokemon. Come on, Pokemon. But, you know, after a bit of time, a bit of reflection, I couldn't help but feel like Game Freak let me down quite a bit, actually. And I think I'm not alone in feeling that way. I feel like Game Freak has lost a lot of people's confidence because yet again, they failed to deliver what the fans wanted. And yet again, they failed to deliver a high quality gaming experience. How hard can it be? You're the biggest grossing franchise in the world. They're worth $113.7 billion. Just put some more of that money into making a good game, because that's what the majority of the fans want. They want a good game. The majority of Pokemon fans play the games. They don't watch the anime. They play the games. That's what most of the people do. So just do it. So this is why Generation 10 matters. I think it matters a lot. I think the release of this game is very important because it could literally make or break Game Freak, I think. I think it really could. This isn't just another generation. It's the 10th generation. It's a milestone. It's a legacy moment. Look how amazing Generation 5 was for its time. Pokemon Black and White are still considered some of the greatest Pokemon games ever made. Game Freak needs to get back to that level where the fans truly appreciate what they've spent their money on and they can once again really enjoy the magic that Pokemon can create. And also with the 30th anniversary of Pokemon just around the corner, this is Game Freak's opportunity to redeem itself in the eyes of their fans. So how can they do that? How can Game Freak redeem themselves? Well, Game Freak has the ability ability to make a great game. We've seen this. I mean, look at this thing that came out recently that they showed off. This was Gamefreak. This is a game that Gamefreak is developing. What even is it? Like, why are they giving this kind of treatment to a game nobody cares about? But the world's biggest franchise looks like this. Pokemon has the potential to be so much greater, and I think Gamefreak just needs to be more confident. They need to take bigger risks. They need to try new things, and they need to look at how successful Legends Arceus was as well. I mean, they could learn from that. They can build on that. And also, if they truly harness the power of the Switch 2, then Pokemon could truly evolve as a franchise. Legend of Zelda is an example of a franchise that has truly grown and evolved over the years. Its quality has only improved, and that's because they aren't afraid of trying different art styles or mechanics. They aren't afraid of change. They embrace it, but they still manage to keep the core of what makes them Legend of Zelda games. Game Freak need to do more than just introduce the next version of Mega Evolution or Z moves or whatever the next battle gimmick is. The formula has to evolve, but at the same time, Pokemon has to still retain its identity. But at the same time, Game Freak just needs to understand the game needs to be stable, it needs to be polished, and most importantly, it needs to be memorable, but for the right reasons. So what do we actually know about Gen 10? Well, a lot has leaked on the run-up to its announcement, starting in October of 2024, when a leaker shared a screenshot revealing 2 test builds from September of 2023. One was named Gaia K Test, and the other one was named Gaia N Test. So the word Gaia most notably refers to Gaia, the Greek goddess of the earth. In Greek mythology, she is considered the mother of all creation, having given birth to the Titans, the sea, and the mountains. This has led many people to speculate that Generation 10's region will in fact be based on Greece. And what do we know about Greece? Well, it has a lot of islands. People have even guessed what the names of these games could be. Gaia K is thought to relate to the Japanese word kaze, which means wind, and Gaia N is thought to relate to the Japanese word nami, which translates to wave, which could be fitting for a game that involves traveling to different islands. This might work in Game Freak's favor if they want to make the game open but still feel less barren. They could have multiple islands, each one uniquely crafted with lots of detail and different environments for all the different types of Pokemon to live. There would also be more of a sense of exploration, traversing the ocean, finding secret hidden islands and buried treasures. The evil team, they could even be pirates. That would be cool, wouldn't it? If you had to like battle against Pokemon pirates. Traveling across the ocean could allow for more fun mechanics than just cycling your bike across a barren wasteland. There could even be massive storms or like whirlpools, deep sea diving, pirate Pokemon ship battles. You might even bring fishing back. Also, having small concentrated island zones connected by a vast ocean might even help reduce memory strain and might even help the game run better. But we already know that the Switch 2 is a lot more capable than its predecessor, so, you know, there shouldn't really be any excuse for the game running poorly. Anyway, it should run fine. It should be a good game. Game Freak. This is also a great opportunity for Game Freak to create some really fun Pokemon designs based on Greek mythology. Ancient Greek mythology has so many iconic and memorable creatures like the Cyclops, Medusa, the Minotaur guy, that Pegasus horse thing, you know, Hercules and all that stuff. There's so many cool things in Greek mythology that Game Freak could pull inspiration from and create some really cool, unique new Pokemon designs. So I'm looking, if it is true about it being based around Greek mythology, then I am really excited to see what kind of Pokemon designs they come up with. But yeah, honestly, I think Game Freak, this is probably their last chance now to regain people's trust. I do believe that. If Generation 10 comes out and it's a massive disaster, then I think that might be it for Game Freak. I honestly think that Nintendo would probably have to get another studio to make Pokemon games instead, because I'm sure there's a team of developers out there that could do a hell of a lot better than what Game Freak has done already. But I'm hopeful, because we have the Switch 2 now. Game Freak has already made so many mistakes on Switch 1. I'm hopeful that they've learned from them, and I'm hopeful that they've been listening to the fans, you know, because they're the people that matter most, the people that play the games. I personally haven't had an amazing Pokemon experience probably since X and Y. Ever since Pokemon came to the Switch, things have took a bit of a nosedive, but I'm praying that Game Freak get back on their feet and they figure it out for the sake of the franchise and for the sake of their fan base. But I want to know what you think. Do you think that Game Freak will redeem itself with the release of Generation 10? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please show your enjoyment by liking the video. It really helps me out a lot. And if you're new here and you want to see more gaming videos, then be sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.